That's kind of the attitude of the album. Like, I've arrived. I'm here to put the game on notice, and like, you niggas is not fucking with me. That's kind of the attitude of this album, but I don't believe it actually lived up to that attitude. Before when I do it again. Yo, what's poppin'? It's your boy, we're back again on the What's the Word channel, back again, about to jump into a new reaction. Today, we actually jumping into a reaction / album review. We jumping into that Cordae From a Bird's Eye View. Dropped just over a week ago. I haven't listened to nothing but the singles on this album thus far. But Cordae has been really active with campaigning this album, promoting this album, doing his press run, and just seeming like, you know, he was putting his best foot forward on this project. Not only skill-wise, but him and his team just seemingly seemed like they were trying to do everything in their power as far as marketing, branding, interviewing, just everything to try to really make this big as it can be. I would say this is probably his attempt to try to make a real splash on just being like, you know, a solo artist in the game that's trying to elevate his name from whatever tier he is now into a new tier of MCs and things of that nature. So with that being said, man, I've heard pretty much all the singles. He, you know, he's been around doing interviews and freestyles with LA Leakers, Aiden Ross's stream. He also dropped a freestyle over Kendrick's Heart Part 4. So he's been very active, man. He had Super as a single. He had the one record with Wayne as another single, and then looks like the latest single is Today, that featuring Gunna is the latest single. So and I'm interested, man. So I'm interested in checking this one out. We here today. That's what we gonna do. I believe this record only sold 20,000 the first week. That is a pretty low number, even for somebody like Cordae, because this isn't like he's not anybody. Also, you got the Wayne feature, you got a Gunna feature, you got an Eminem feature. Yeah, I mean, it got a nice amount of features on here. You got Freddie Gibbs, Her, Lil Durk, Wayne, Gunna. Like, these names are pretty relevant, and I would suspect that they would have brought a little more audience to his album and kind of increase those first week numbers. That's just my prediction and kind of what I would expect for somebody like Cordae with those features on there as well. So, but 20,000, you know, sales isn't everything, but I do believe it tells somewhat of the story and kind of helps us dictate where our artist kind of lines up and kind of who his peers are, he or she peers are. And yeah, with that being said, man, I ain't gonna hold y'all up no more. I'm excited to get into this album. It is only, it looks like, what, 14 records on there? Got Disc 1 and Disc 2. Disc 2 is only 2 songs on there. Not sure why he did that, but let's do it, man. I'm excited.
Like I said, when I was 9, that's my first time I held a 9. Trying to put somebody in a grave or an urn. Nigga 17, police put my ass just for being black. So they get me out the camp. But I can tell you what I seen or what I lived. It's up to you. But let my brother tell the story from a bird's eye view.
I'm guessing Shiloh maybe was his homie and they was letting him, maybe he's in a system, like in jail or something, incarcerated or something, and maybe he dedicated that to him and he's maybe telling a piece of his story along with his. Not sure. Maybe he lets us know what exactly it was later in the album. But second song, Gene Michael.
Nothing ordinary. I've been having vivid dreams. Them shits is more than scary. Graveyards and mortuaries. Cause what's life without sacrifice? And you just wasting talent if you never strategize. I'm
liking the pace of this record right now. Real easy, digestible bars, real relatable. Love the production as well. The production is doing everything it's supposed to do. Not too much, but just creating an open space for him to just kind of like lace it up real nice with some easy bars.
My brother asked me how the fuck can he maintain in hell? That's another story for a different day.
That's a story for a different day. He just told me, niggas, switch your ways. So yeah, I'm thinking he's talking about the guy that was on the intro, on Shiloh's intro. That's what I'm guessing. I heard this one already, Super. I can't really recall it though, so I'm gonna check it out again.
Hey, I can't ever flip on me. My mama might flip on me like, whoa, hey.
Yeah, I still feel the same how I initially felt on this. Like this whole song and this part of the song right here, it just seems like it's not too believable, or like some of Cordae's music just doesn't come off organic, or it's not a lot like either organic or authentic enough. You know what I mean? And not the fact that he's putting on some type of act. It may just be just cookie cutter and just like sometimes it seems manufactured. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of real rawness there for me. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's maybe in his voice or tone, if it's in, you know, his lyricism and the words he may choose. But execution style, I think, is the most revealing for me when I kind of sit back and look at all the music I've kind of heard from him. That's kind of always my takeaway. Mama's Hood.
I ain't playing with you niggas, boy, I'm playing for keeps. The gutter, I come straight out, the bottom of bottoms, to the top of the tops. And that power wash.
Ooh, you can't do that. That's too predictable. The bottom of bottoms to the top of the tops. That's too predictable, my G. Oh my God. I'm not feeling this record at all, bro. I'm honestly almost getting sleepy listening to this record, bro. Like, no kids, I ain't even trying to be funny. This shit almost making me about to be snore fest on this mug. No kizzy, bro. I'm trying not to skip this shit right now.
With the least of all, forgot the most to say. The funeral was too much. I couldn't show my face. Instead, I was riding through my mind.
I can't take that hook again no more, bro. That shit is too dry, too boring, snore fest. I gotta go to the next one, dog. Yeah. One from me. Let's see what we got.
Check it. Men and women are quite different, though our vision is jaded. We originated to coexist. The type who out all night that you could see in the club. We both share the same problems. We got too much pride. Gotta sanitize. I clean house, cause some only like to vandalize. Plotting on your downfall, although
I like that. That was a boy, I clean house, cause some only like to vandalize. I'm with that one right there.
Thank you for using Connect Services. Hello?
C. Cordae. See what we got. It sound good coming on already, though.
sitting in the house watching Coach Cordae. Plotting on this fucking Cartier.
This is funny, though. I just watched Coach Cordae literally earlier today, dog.
I ain't doing too bad for a newcomer. This life shit gave me scars with a bruise on it. Dream about a Dodge Charger. Suicide doors sitting on 24s. I was trying to find a job and shit. Why bother? Back to it. Figments of imagination. Couldn't fathom elation. Indescribable with words. So I'll go.
Yeah, bro. He already said figment of imagination. Too close to one another, dog. And it's the production is just really just a downer. Like, this shit right here so far has just been a downer project. Like, no kizzy. I'm sitting here trying to be patient with this shit, but it ain't moving me. These records ain't got no type of bounce. Like, the production looks like this cover, bro. Like, this cover looks so dull and just like, my nigga, boring. Like, that's what the production feel like. He sound like that. He ain't got no charisma or like no real animation and inflection in his voice. This shit right here so far, bro, and we are 8 records in, bro. Like, something should have moved me around a little bit right now, but nothing has, bro. Shit's crazy.
I'm not in it, your Messiah means brother Benjamin. That's how I stick to him. These diamonds.
It's same music, literature. Yeah, them niggas went in on that one, dog. That's by far easy my favorite record off this record already. Chronicles featuring her and Lil Durk. I'm expecting some good vibes on this one, dog.
I'm on this road, and I'm not sure where my heart is headed. And if you left me now, I know how far I regret it.
Only a few vocals in that already feel better than most everything on his album.
Hit up Eliante for that diamond necklace. Hey, tell me you don't.
That nigga definitely studied some Drake nigga on this shit. I mean, this is almost verbatim some Drizzy styled execution vocals right here, my nigga.
First man, we was lost souls, but I know I gotta go. I lace my bitch.
I don't know why he don't got nothing on his voice. Like, I feel niggas trying to do like the natural raw vocals, but I mean, them shits would have been even more glassy if that nigga just put a nice filter over them shits. Them shits sound like it ain't got nothing on them, dog. And they sound like they'd be cool with the filters over them joints, but I guess he decided to go against them shits.
You should know what we both been through, babe.
know what I'm saying? Like, that shit sound low budget. And I'm loving what he's actually doing, but the mix on this shit just sounds low budget. Like, I have no clue as to why they would do this record like that. Like, he's executing this shit good. The production feels good, but it's just like they dropped the ball when it came to the engineer on this shit, bro. Like, I have no clue why they would even risk it like that. Like, this shit sound like the demo, bro.
I just need love, I need someone to give me more perspective. You on your grind, just hope you call me when you get it. Shake it down and effort. I just need time and effort. Temptations in my past, yeah, all the times I was tested.
Her feels good on her.
Stay connected. Both feel the same.
Yeah. I need her to lead this shit now, shit. You already know Dirk gonna slide all over this shit.
You made it a 360 cause you been real with me 360. Street nigga buy all drugs, but you made a nigga buy you new titties. You tell me I spend my time without my gas. No, we don't spend time. That's gonna kill for you. I'm on this road.
That nigga Dirk slid. I'm in that.
Can't waste no time.
Ooh, she just floating like diamond necklace. I like this record though, man. Even though it's some things that's lacking for me, this is probably one of my favorite ones for sure, man. I feel like this one really could have been a hit possibly if he just did it right, but we'll get further into it later. Champagne Glasses, Freddie Gibbs, Stevie Wonder.
Hell yeah, 15 was in them handcuffs with paraphernalia. I grew up in them trenches, boy, your house had wine selling backstage passes. Everybody celebrating with their champagne glasses.
This shit feel good.
The stress-free life was gonna come with
Money.
I got my head up in the backstage passes. Rather than dirty, I know I shit dirty. I'd rather get coke than get blasted.
Freddie Gibbs has a very unique way of rapping, man. You have to appreciate it. I actually appreciate the way he kind of approaches his records, dog. Let me run it back a little bit, though. I like this record a lot. That one feels good. Feels like the album is picking up now.
Man, is give y'all my life and everything from a bird's eye view.
I'm liking this production. This shit feel good.
Yeah, done seen some shit within my lifetime. My light shine bright. I'ma show you what an icon like. Y'all let bygones be bygones, right? Nigga, fuck your troops. Bust your move. A dash on them swerve. Born from the trench, you from the burbs, nigga. Fuck.
See, he rapping with a different velocity on this record.
And if a nigga ever got a problem, nigga, we can fucking solve it on my mama, nigga. I just been itching to prove myself. So they catching bullets like 2 Odells. And nigga, you gon' tell going hard up in the paint. And I can tell you shit that other niggas can't. Time I had to drop a nigga rank. And I can tell you shit I did up off the drink. Let me tell you.
Ooh, I like that, nigga. What I can tell you by the time I had to drop a nigga rank, that's a different way of talking right there, dog. That's different. I like that, Cordae. Let's see what we doing now.
And I can tell you shit that other niggas can't. Let me tell you. Time I signed a deal for 20 bands and used that shit to get my brother out the can. Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Let's go.
Foremost, for every door that's open, the door closed. When I had made room for everybody on that late moon and word the race room.
Hey, he going on this one. I gotta salute Cordae on this shit. He talking and he bringing that energy for sure.
I ain't even wanna hack a blank on him. That lamb truck got a full tank on him. Tell you by the time I had to
drop a nigga rank.
And I can tell you,
I love that bar, dog. That shit do something for me. Let me tell you, he set the table, set the standard at a nice level. Like, he bodied this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm still looking forward to what M about to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't heard, I think I've only heard a little chit chatter over this song. But it's not been something crazy. But I'm looking forward to it, man. Let's see what M about to jump into his bag about.
I seen some shit within my lifetime. At one time, I can still remember just how bad I used to want 5 mics. My biggest dream was just hard for me to fathom. This was once my life. Should've make you wanna cop out like a plea deal. So I treat you beat like a Takashi. Spit on that bitch like Big Milk.
He getting straight to it. I like that. Let's go, M. Let me run it back right quick. He started. Because M got different velocity and rates he can go. Hold up.
You wanna cop out like a plea deal. So I treat you beat like a Takashi. Spit on that bitch like Big Milk. My addiction got me weak willed. And Dr. DRE, he still keeps on giving me refills. Send him at me. All of the chicken, this nigga's MH. With Gen Z into a frenzy. But no gift is in
I like that.
Stingy. And I'm in my Louis Vuitton. What am I? That you'll never see me yet. Like senior prom. What I mean's the bars higher than Cheech and Chong.
Let me stop. I'm just appreciating just he's rapping with a certain nuance to his approach on this record. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like you gotta listen like with your ears sideways to the speakers. But I'm appreciating what M's doing, and there's bars in there too. But there's much more than bars there as well. But I'm taking it in.
Every single word of it true, so without further ado, it's return of the roof. It's more murderous than mucus. So what you're gonna do is do permanent damage with the words that I threw birds off you. I'm referred to as you circling you like I'm a vulture. Features are turning inside. She was wrapping shit up around the house to stick it under the tree. Damn.
That's a lot. That's obviously one of my another record on this album that's probably one of my favorites as well. I appreciate it. I appreciated what both artists did on that record. I think they offered two different flavors of rap. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Cordae had that beat for some time, and he knew exactly what he was wanting to do with that. Knew he probably wanted Eminem to be a feature on there, and he knew exactly what he was going to have to do in order to stay afloat on that record, and I believe he did for sure. I honestly may like his more than I like M's. I'm gonna definitely have to re-listen to that song. But like I said, M was rapping with a certain nuance and a certain approach that I really appreciated, because it wasn't just this expected way of him to be rapping. I didn't foresee. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he did a different he had a different approach on this one. You know what I mean? Of course, he had some of his go-tos when he get into certain pockets. He's always going to do that, which I feel like he tried to make sure he was going to put his best foot forward and not get washed. Because, I mean, anytime you got a feature from him, you know, you kind of expected him to do what he's going to do. And, you know, the pressure should be on whoever song it is, opposed to it being on him for the most part. But let's finish it out, man. Gifted, Roddy Ricch. I already heard this one, but let's just check it out.
I met Shorty and we connected like the Wi-Fi. This ain't no way. Watch them niggas that might eat up off of your plate. Future in my Audemars. Stack paper, don't you know I got a whole lot.
There you have it, man. From a bird's eye view by none other than Cordae. Man, I must say, I feel like I got two different opinions about this album, and one may be stronger than the other. So I'm coming into this album, you know, fresh off of how he's kind of approaching it, you know, talking really spicy. Every interview, every freestyle, every appearance, he's kind of, you know, he's talking spicy. This is about to be the best album of 2022 type of spicy. Not just, I'm one of them guys that got next, and he's talking like he's arrived and he's going for the crown. So that's kind of the expectation I'm going into this album with. I wouldn't say it lived up to, you know, my expectations, which is what I'm expecting him to do because of the way he's talking. I wouldn't say it's anything like that. And so when you do that, like as an artist, bro, and you don't got like the backbone or the resume and catalog to speak that confidently for the consumer to feel, like for us to feel as confident as you, like you have to make sure you really nail it and hit it on the head, which I don't know if he quite hit it on the head, if you ask me. So that's like how I went into this album, and after listening to it, where it sits now. So I do feel like it started off slow. The first half started off really slow. Like, it was a lot of production that I really didn't feel. Things from Mama's Hood, Want From Me, Today, Gene Michael, like those first 6 to 7 was like Snore City, yo. Like, I feel like it was like one of those songs he had some bars on the second verse, but majority, it was pretty much Snore City, bro. He could have just took those off and, you know, maybe did some other joints, but you can't have the opening side of your project be Snore City. Because if I wasn't doing a reaction, I don't know if I'm honestly going to listen and make it through this entire project, because before we got to some good, there was so much Snore City records asking a lot for the consumer and the listener to say, have perseverance and have patience getting through these records. They don't have a lot of pace, bounce, energy. Production really wasn't the best for me. For my taste buds, I don't know who's behind them, but it was really hard to get through like those first 6. You know what I mean? I didn't like the record he had Gunna on. I feel like Gunna bodied his verse, but what he did on it really didn't add nothing to it. You know what I mean? It was almost like a wasted feature for that point. But right around Coach Cordae is where I feel like it picked up. I wouldn't say Coach Cordae is one of my favorites, but I feel like that was kind of when the momentum switched and changed and moved into a different space of the album. Because after that, you go into Sinister with Wayne, which I thought was a magnificent record. I love the energy. It was a great pick for a single. Then you go to Chronicles, which I think Chronicles would easily probably be the best record on this album if he would have took it as serious as everybody else on the record did. Meaning, the engineering, the mixing, and what he decided to do with his vocals, I feel like he dropped the ball. Like, when you got something as precious as that, you have to know it's precious and to treat it like that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you got to treat all your music like that. But when you got something like that, I feel like it was some special moments on there. And if it wasn't, it only was due to the mixing and what they did with his vocal chain. You know, I feel like that's a huge missed opportunity. Like, you miss out on stuff when you drop the ball like that. It was still a lot in that song that I love. Like, I love what Her did. I love what Dirk did. I even love what he did, like vocally, what he did, lyrically, what he did, and how he executed. But he just didn't. I still can't fathom as to why they would just let that record go without having the proper polish on his vocals. You know what I mean? Like that really kills and hurts that record for me. But that is one of my favorites. Champagne Glasses with Freddie Gibb. I also appreciated that record as well. I thought Freddie was a good pick for that record. That was right up his alley. I like what he had to say on there as well. Westlake High, okay record, pretty mid, nothing major, not really memorable at all. And then you get to Parables with Eminem. Like I said, when I was first reacting to that one, I appreciate what both artists did on there. I feel like they had two different tasks on that that song, and I feel like they made a good song though. It was definitely worth having Eminem on production wise. I think his performance was pretty great as well, and I really was probably more so impressed by what Cordae did. That probably is one of my favorite verses by him for sure. If he was, the way he rapped on the verse for Parables was how he was rapping in these freestyles that came before the album. Like, his freestyles were better than a lot of the music that we got on this album. I feel honestly like the freestyles were punches. This right here were like tad bits and jabs. Nothing was like knocking me out of my seat. Like, you know what I mean? If you look at some of my other album reactions, like with certain records that I really feel, you can know when I'm really vibing and rocking based off of how the music is making me feel it and, you know, my response to it. Like, this record, for the most part, for the better half of it, was really Snore City. You know what I mean? I feel like it was a really lot of snorable records on this album, paired with some other good records, but it kind of tainted it because they were all at the front of the album. You know what I mean? That's why I believe track listing is another key component when making an album. You have to know what goes next to each other, because you know what? Some of these songs may not have been that bad if they were just in different places on the track list. But when you pack all these snorable records next to each other, I mean, it makes the experience snorable. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if that's a word, but that's the best way I can kind of describe what I felt listening to that portion of the album. But yeah, overall, didn't live up to how he was talking about it. At best, probably mid to decent is what I'll give it. If I was scoring this on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, I probably would give it somewhere between, maybe nothing above a 6. In all honesty, I couldn't give it anything above a 6. You know what I mean? Maybe it can grow, possibly. But a lot of times when I say records can grow, they typically grow because they weren't played in the environment it was intended to be played in. You know, some records go crazier in the car, some records go crazier in the club, some records go crazier just moving throughout life and vibing. But his records don't demand really to be played anywhere else but just kind of just listening to them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like he has records or the production style wouldn't be amplified or, bettered in a different scenario than me just sitting at my laptop and kind of just listening to it. You know what I mean? He's not that type of rapper as far as what I can see right now and what I've heard. So yeah, man, like at best, maybe a 6, maybe it can grow. But I don't really hear myself revisiting any record on her except for Chronicles. That's about it. That is about it, you know what I mean? That's kind of my take on this album, my reaction to it. You guys let me know in the comments, how'd you like this album? Was it better than Lost Boy? If I recall Lost Boy, I think I actually had a better feel for Lost Boy, it being his debut. I think he was more just not so worried about impressing other people, because that's the big impression you get on this album. It's like he's trying to put the game on notice. I feel like that was something he really wanted to stand out and kind of identify this sophomore project with that kind of attitude. That's kind of the attitude of the album. Like, I've arrived. I'm here to put the game on notice and like you niggas is not fucking with me. That's kind of the attitude of this album, but I don't believe it actually lived up to that attitude. And you make it kind of hard on yourself when you project it out before the album comes, opposed to just letting the album speak for itself and making great music. Yeah, man. Hopefully he learns kind of from, you know, this album experience and people response to it, and he takes it and just be a student to what people have to say about it, because I don't know if it's as great as what he thought it was in his mind. Because the way he was talking, you know, he was talking like this shit was gonna shut 2020 down, and I don't believe he really even put a drop in the ocean that really even knocked people out of their seats. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Y'all get in the comments and let me know what you guys think of this album. I believe it was, like I said, decent or mid at best. That's if you think 6 out of 10 is that. I don't think I'll really revisit anything except for Chronicles with her and Dirk. And I really want to hear you guys' opinion on it. Cordae fans, how did you like this one compared to The Lost Boy? You know what I mean? What's some of your favorites? What were the weak spots of this album? What could he improve on? Things of that nature, you know what I mean? Like, what do you guys think about my take on this album? And if you guys agree with me, let me know in the comments. Or if you disagree, let me know that as well. So, you know what time it is, man. Make sure you hit that like button on this video. Hit that subscribe button. Keep subscribing. We always going to have album reviews, album reactions. I got a reaction page. Just look at my catalog, man. I react to everything from pop, R&B, hip-hop, K-pop, freaking everything, man. Alternative, beatboxing, battle raps, NBA. We do it all over here, man. But yeah, you know what time it is, man. Like I said, hit that subscribe button, turn the notifications so you don't miss a video. More reactions coming, more album reviews coming. You know what time it is, man. It's your boy Word. Thanks for watching. Yeah. Did it before and I do it again.